Good morning, everyone. What you are looking at, or what we're trying to look at least, is the Austonian camera showing drivers on Mopac crossing Lady Bird Lake. And the Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, it wants to add a toll lane between Cesar Chavez all the way over to Slaughter Lane. And yesterday, City Council members, they weighed in on that plan. So Mike Kannin with the Austin Monitor is here to kind of sort through the controversy, because there is some controversy with a part of that plan.
There is. I think a lot of folks that you will recognize from past issues at City Hall, a lot of environmental folks, are concerned about the impact that the actual physical infrastructure will have on the city, on Lady Bird Lake specifically.
Right.
We're looking at theoretically a double-decker, which is what a lot of those folks are calling it, addition to the highway. Although we should definitely say that nothing's really been set in terms of design, and I think what council did last night was to ask for a little bit more time to think about their options, or the region's options.
Because the critics are saying something about how this would ruin Zilker Park, it would impact it. What's the deal there?
I mean, the language that I've heard is that they're using is like a flyover that would go, sort of around Lady Bird Lake in that area.
Okay.
And those folks are definitely worried about the impact on the view. I think that the other side is that somebody needs to do something about traffic, and the argument would be that this is an approach that could impact the congestion over there on Mopac and improve access to Southwest Austin. Of course, there is even yet another side that says that maybe adding the lanes won't really do very much. This is all sort of, and we should note that what council did is sort of just ask Campo to think a little bit more about what they're going to do before they do it. Campo's vote is coming Monday, and one thing that folks should definitely keep in mind is that this is not a City of Austin decision. It's a CTRMA decision. It's a Campo decision.
Right.
And so that means that there are a lot more regional voices, maybe more folks that are interested in building more roads than would typically be involved in infrastructure decisions here in the city.
But ultimately, it is Campo's decision.
It is ultimately Campo's decision.
To decide if they want to listen to some of the city leaders and the votes here. Okay, another thing that we were following yesterday, Antonio Beeler, and the nomination for him to be on the Public Safety Commission. What happened?
Didn't get it. Is the short end, yeah. And he didn't get it in a weird way. Typically, council grants waivers for different reasons for commissioners. One of those reasons could be that they missed a meeting or two. One could be, and in this case, was a waiver about his residency. He didn't live. He doesn't technically live in the city. Although I think, as some folks pointed out yesterday, he lives in an area that's very close or surrounded by the city.
Right.
So, so council, instead of weighing in on the merits of Mr. Bueller, who of course has been a longtime critic of APD.
Sure.
They sort of decided to not grant him the waiver, which by default left him off the commission.
Wow. Okay. So this was something that the Police Association came out strongly against, because we should let people know, our viewers know, that the Public Safety Commission is an oversight group, right? It looks at public safety, it looks at Austin Police and their practices and their policies, something that Antonio Beeler says, I'm perfect to do that. But the police union says maybe you're not fair.
Yeah, and that was I think the bone there. That was the bone of contention. And I think that Councilmember Kassar, who probably would have been critical of Bueller's appointment, although I don't know what he would have voted ultimately, sort of wanted, I think, the opportunity to discuss, what his role would have been. And I think, during public comments, you heard a lot of folks who were supporting Bueller who didn't necessarily agree with his methods, with the way that he talked about things. And that certainly would have been a discussion, but we never got to have it. So.
We never got to hear what they had to say about it. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Mike. We'll see you here next week to talk about any kind of other fireworks that happen inside City Hall.
Sounds great.
There's always something, huh?
Always something.